But anyway, yeah. So we could talk about Halo, man. Halo's another heavy hitter. Like we just spent like 25 minutes talking about Battlefield. Now let's talk about Halo, man. They've got a whole bunch of innovative shit coming up. As I've already mentioned, the battle pass system's fucking awesome. But anyway, anyway, what's like the number one thing you're looking forward to out of Halo Infinite?
Um, as far as the multiplayer goes, I think I'd have to say that mine's the customization. Like, it seems like the customization in this is gonna be insane.
Yeah, yeah, and it almost had like an RPG looter shooter type feel to it because on their website each piece of armor was like named.
I did
You
see
know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
So it's not like fucking you get blue shoulder pad number 3.
Right.
It's like you get this Spartan armor set or whatever the name is. I'm
Because,
not
yeah,
huge into the
looking at
lore.
it, you can customize your helmet gear, visor, shoulders, gloves, chest, armor core, armor coating, knee pads, gun coating, and then you can also add prosthetics to both arms and both legs.
Oh, that's
And then the
crazy.
other one that's got me, as far as customization goes, that I think has me most excited is the personal AI. So like Cortana from the campaign, every Spartan in multiplayer, you get to pick your own personal AI. So your own little AI that goes in you, and it's I was watching a Halo follower on YouTube, and he was saying that each AI will have like different voices, appearance, and personality types. So there's a scene in
Fuck.
the trailer where they capture the flag and they get in the mongoose and they take off, and then in the trailer that like everyone's seen, it says, now if you can
Yeah.
please honk as fast as you can or whatever. In the unedited version, it actually says you can please haul ass at your earliest convenience. And it's just little things like that. I think they have me hyped for this game.
That's pretty cool. And what's awesome is Halo. I remember. So I was more like a casual Halo fan. I played Halo 2 multiplayer. I played Halo 3 multiplayer. I played the campaigns a little bit, but I never followed them too much. And this seems like a return to form, like a return to that childhood fun. You know what I mean? Like that back in the day where you would have 1v1s on Halo 2 or you play King of the Hill or something and it was just fun as shit. It seems like they're kind of going back
Right.
to that.
I'm excited because yeah, I mean, I played a little bit of Halo 1, but not too much. And then towards the end of high school, I would ditch class and go over to a buddy's house, and there was like 8 of us that would play Halo 2. We'd play online, but a lot of times it was just like
It was
it was
land.
2v2, 4v4 like split screen.
Yeah.
And
Oh god, those are the
oh
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Halo 3, I played the absolute shit out of Halo 3.
Yeah, I didn't play Halo 3 as much. I played mostly Halo 2. But yeah, man, those are the fucking days. You had people over and it was just fun to do. And it seems like they're going back to that. It seems like it's got those vibes and especially the fact that the multiplayer is free to play. That's
Right.
insane.
That's huge.
No nobody you're not risking anything, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
You're gonna get a bunch of new players into the ecosystem, and then on top of it, it's not no longer just on Xbox. PC can play it too. So
Yeah.
I feel like this could be a
Yeah.
huge jump for Halo. Hopefully.
And it's just another consumer friendly option. I was just thinking because I was trying to think about this, and with the free to play aspect of the multiplayer, I wrote down. I wrote, what's the catch? So like, is it going to be reduced progression if you're going to get in there? Can you pay? I know that they were trying to say things to the effect of it's not going to be like pay to win. You're going to have to earn these things through the battle pass system and whatnot. But how are they going to do this so that it's free to play, but then the company also makes money? Are they expecting to make all their money off of battle
I have a
passes?
feeling because they said there'd be a shop. that you couldn't buy things off the battle pass in the shop. So I'm guessing that is also
Mhm.
there'll be the inverse to that, and there'll be things in the shop that you can't get in the battle pass or just unlock through progression. So I'm sure there'll be some skins, visor colors, prosthetics, whatever, AIs most likely, that'll be shop only that you'll probably have to pay real money for, or there may be some sort of in-game currency, but it'll probably take similar to like Rogue Company, for example, where there is an in-game currency, but it takes a year and a
Mhm.
half to get the currency you need to buy anything in the
Yeah.
shop. So the quicker, easier way is to just spend real money to buy it.
Yeah. I man, I think that's cool. Fuck. I really hope they don't do that though. Like that's just my
I mean,
personal opinion. I really
I
hope they
I
don't.
I kind of hope not too, but I also understand and respect the fact that they need to make money off of it. I mean, granted, they'll be making money off the
Yeah.
campaign, I'm sure. Well, that I don't know entirely either because it's day and date it on Battle Pass or Game Pass. So
Yeah.
anyone who's got Game Pass is already going to be able to get it. But I suppose there might be the few of those loyal fans like myself. I probably will just straight up buy the game because I kind of, especially if it's good, like I want to give them the money.
Yeah, for sure. And I think this is kind of a good balance that they've struck between um because I remember back in the past, like loot boxes, they've tried to implement these fucking microtransactions, and they've done it so shittily before. And I guess we can thank Call of Duty for that because Call of Duty did it so bad off the bat in things like FIFA and NBA 2K. They did these microtransactions so bad that now we've seemed to have found a good
Right,
balance. Hopefully, I'm fine with the battle pass system where like some things are free and then you pay for other
right,
things. I'm totally fine for that. I just want to avoid a situation where you get in there, it's free to play, and even though it's free to play, you feel like it's bare bones unless you drop
right.
$50. You know what I
And
mean?
I don't think it
Um,
will. I think they made it sound like the
yeah.
battle pass will have a lot, which that you're gonna have to pay money for. But they also made it sound like there's a lot you can get via just like progression, and I'm sure they'll have challenge based, like get 1,000 headshots, unlock this helmet,
Hmm.
and
I
and
hope
I'm
so.
okay with the shop as long as it's not pay to win. If it's cosmetics only, like yeah, that kind of sucks because there might be some cool outfit that I want that I can't get, but at the same time it's just an outfit. Now if there's like a battle rifle or something like that that for whatever reason is in the shop that's way better than the original battle rifle, that's when it'll piss me off.
Yeah, like fucking Advanced
Yeah.
Warfare, and there was that variant of the bow going around that just tore up
Yeah,
everyone.
the other one, I
God,
don't know if you ever played it, but it's a free to play shooter called Warface.
I played it
That
for a
was
minute.
another one that was really bad. Like you could drop a fair amount of money and get like badass guns that would just melt you that you could never to
Mhm.
try and get them in game because you that was the same thing as they were trying to say it wasn't pay to win because you could unlock everything in game, but you would have to grind that game for hours, days even, to unlock some of this stuff that people could go drop $20 on and then be melting you right away.
Yeah, and that's just a miserable experience for everybody involved, and that that's like finding that balance. If they stick with just cosmetics, I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. But I do hope they have some progression in the multiplayer because one thing I miss from old school games is that the amount of challenges and the progression that you see in the multiplayer really has dropped quite a bit. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like I remember back in the day, like if you think of Call of Duty Ghosts, there were a ton of outfits and shit that you could go get, and they were challenge based. Some of them you had to play with a clan, some of them you had to do, by yourself, whatever. But they were fucking cool. And lately, I don't know. It seems like there's not as much progression based, but I think that's one of those things that really adds to the longevity and life cycle of a game is when you have all these really cool challenges, and not just fucking dark matter.
Right.
Okay, no one cares about dark matter anymore, but something
Right.
substantial.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with like the personal AI staying going back to that for a second, I hope they get people like
Yep.
like I just think it'd be badass to have like Jack Black voice and AI, and then have Jack Black in my head telling me to haul ass after I capture the flag or whatever, like something I don't know. That
Oh, that would be so
those are ones I
funny.
guarantee you'd have to pay for because they have to pay the voice actor to do all of it. But
Hmm.
I'd pay a fair amount of money for shit like
I'd
that.
fucking do
Yeah.
it. Oh hell yeah, Samuel L. Jackson one, I would totally pay for.
Hell yeah.
Uh, yeah. Um, but anyway, so with all this talk, man, I don't know if you find it as interesting as I do, but what would Call of Duty have to do this year to not die? So, because I think all these companies are making such right steps, and Call of Duty's going back to the past. And I'm trying to think, what the hell must it be like to be an Activision exec and thinking, what do we have to do to get people to buy our game? They could make. I think Call of Duty, in order to save their ass, should make the entire game free this year. Like that might be the only thing they can do.
Yeah, I don't even know what they would go about doing. It's gonna be difficult for sure. I feel like they'd have to make, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is I can't remember where I was hearing it from, but there was somebody that was kind of speculating and throwing it out there that what if Vanguard ends up being like an alternate timeline where yeah, it's World War II, but you're running around with like M4s and M16s and like jetpacks and shit. Which
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that could maybe help sell it just because it's not just
Hmm.
straight up boots on the ground World War II, like bland, boring. Plus it's Sledgehammer doing it again. So I mean, I don't know how much I trust Sledgehammer with the games.
I know Call of Duty World War II was a big learning lesson for them, and I heard they made that game better, but this is still only their
Right.
second outing,
Well, and the other
you
thing that
know?
drives me insane about Sledgehammer, especially Call of Duty World War II, was the colors. Like everything was so bland and dismal that it's just like it just almost made the experience more boring. I guess it was in a sense more
Yeah.
realistic, but I don't know.
It's not
I
something
don't
to
want to
look
play
at.
on maps that are just made up of different shades of shit brown the entire time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think we're kind of over that. Um, as a community, I mean, I just don't know anybody who's so crazy about that timeline, or about that time
Right.
period.
Like
Uh,
those games were fun. Like World of War was all right, was pretty good.
yeah.
But the only other time that I really truly enjoyed like those games from Call of Duty was on like the PS2 when or the Xbox 360 when
Hmm.
it was like just a campaign and maybe a multiplayer, but you're just those were the only times where I was like, "Oh, this World War II shit's kind of cool." But in a multiplayer setting, like your guns are limited, your attachments are limited, especially if you're staying realistic. Like you're not gonna have like some
Yeah.
badass red dot sight on a M1 Garand.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, and I think the Call of Duty, those old school World War II campaigns were fun because there was like a sense of purpose to what you were doing. Um, and in multiplayer you don't have that. You don't have that context. So maybe that's why it doesn't work. And I'm really, man, I'm stumping myself here. I'm trying to think because fucking Halo and Battlefield are bringing their AAA game,
Right.
and I think Call of Duty's dead. And I've researched the, okay, so this is a topic that's been around for a while. Like, let's be honest, every year, every game, someone's coming out saying, "Hey, Call of Duty's dead. Call of Duty's dead." If you search it on Google, you're gonna find videos from like years ago, and obviously they haven't died. One of their biggest games ever was Modern Warfare 2019, but we saw a significant drop in sales with Cold War, and I think this year they are going to get beat over the head, real bad. Because does anybody even want to play a World War II battle royale? I mean, look at Firestorm.
R-
Get
Right.
out of here. No one wants this shit.
I mean,
Who is their Who is the person that they're getting feedback from?
yeah, I don't know. Because yeah, that's the other thing that blows my mind about Activision is like I feel like they don't listen to their community. Like the developers try to, and they change some of the shit, but
Hmm.
the mass majority of like the game, they can't change it because Activision's like, no, fuck you, don't do that. We want the game this way.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't think Call of
seriously.
Duty will ever really die, but I think it could be in trouble, and it might not be considered one of the like heavy hitter first person shooters.
Yeah, might be
Yeah,
dethroned.
like I think Battlefield and Halo are definitely on their way up.
Yeah, you know what? I'll just go further and make another prediction. I think that this year's Call of Duty is going to be the Assassin's Creed Syndicate of the Call of Duty franchise. And what I mean by that is, or was it? I think it was Syndicate, where Ubisoft was like, "Hey, we need to step back and we need to change the whole look of this franchise." They skipped the every year model, and they went back to the drawing board. And I think that's going to force Activision to do that. Um, I don't know though. That's a speculation, but I think you have to at some point because yeah, they're not going to be a top
Right,
contender.
yeah,
And plus, fucking Battlefield's getting a release date sooner, most likely.
right.
It's gonna come out sooner.
Yeah, it's
But anyway, did you have anything on your notes?
uh
Or anything?
just a couple more things going back to Halo. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they did rip one thing from other games. They're adding scope glint to their snipers, which I thought that was kind of interesting. And then
They're they're adding that to
yeah,
the
the
snipers.
snipers in Halo Infinite are gonna have
Oh,
scope glint, which is
I don't know how I
yeah,
like that.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like sometimes it's nice because you get that if your reaction times are fast enough, you have that split second to oh, I'm about to get my head ripped off and you can get out of the way. But at the same time, as a sniper, and you see that person and you're like, "Oh, I have this headshot dead to rights." And then all of a sudden they dash out of the way. It's like, "Well, all right, that sucked."
And I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I don't ever remember Halo being like the head glitchiest game that I could think of. Was there ever a time where you get killed in Halo and you're like, where the fuck did I get killed from? I guess maybe with a sniper, but like no one's head glitching with the sniper,
There
are
was a
they?
few. I remember
To
playing Valhalla on Halo 3, so I mean it's a ways back. But there was a couple spots where you could get some pretty gnarly
mm,
head glitches where, because I mean the bullets act in Halo, at least Halo 3. I don't know if it's changed, but in Halo 3 they act the same way as like Call of Duty bullets, where since you're looking down your sights or like hip firing or whatever, your gun's way down by your hip, and that's not where your
yeah,
eyes are. So your bullet is actually like if you were to actually draw a real bullet from where it's coming from, the bullet would actually come out of like right between the eyes and the forehead. And that's why how head glitches work is the gun doesn't actually need to be showing, it's just the top of the head because that's where the bullet is programmed to come from. And
oh,
then the tracer that comes out of your gun is programmed to like sync with where that actual shot's going so they still hit in the same place. But
that's
but then
weird.
and that's why too like sometimes like animations like older Call of Duties would do it, but I know that like you would come out of a sprint and you might not actually be fully out of your sprint before you'd start shooting, so it looked like your gun's shooting to the left down in the dirt, but your bullets are going straight, but it's because the invisible program bullet is actually coming from your eyes.
That's
Yeah,
funky.
that's why like in Modern Warfare 2019, why challenging to the one side was a little bit better than the other because you have that visual advantage of your eye being to one side or the other versus yeah. But anyways,
That makes sense.
Yeah, so they're adding scope glint to sniper rifles. And the other thing I thought that was super cool that I'm excited about, because one of the things that I used to love about Halo was especially like Halo 5. Like the customization was pretty sweet. You could do some cool shit with your Spartans, but then when you'd go and get a match, you're red or you're blue. So you don't really even get to see it.
Mm,
They're going away from that. There is no more red versus blue. That way you can actually see and
that's
show
good.
off your customization. And the way it's going to work is there'll be like a red outline or a blue outline kind of around your teammates. So you can see like which teammates are yours and which ones are the others. But you can still see the like
Mm.
the armor coatings and like the skins and stuff that you have and actually show your Spartan off. So that part, that
That's
has
pretty
me pretty
sweet.
excited. And then the other thing is they're
Hmm.
bringing back vehicles in 4v4.
Oh
So I mean,
shit.
not your big like your wraiths and your banshees and your shit like that. Like that'll still be for big team, but they're bringing back like the mongoose and the ghost and some of the other smaller vehicles you used to be like in Halo 3 I know for sure. But there was always the small
Yeah.
vehicles you could cruise around in. They're bringing that back.
Oh sweet. I used to remember I think the most fun like was the ghost. I love
Yeah,
those
cruising around on
things.
the ghost was always a fun time. And the other thing too that was always satisfying is when you're cruising on like a mongoose or someone on the enemy team's cruising on a mongoose and you just rip the driver's head off and that mongoose just goes rolling until it stops. Like those are those are the moments I
Oh
used to love on Halo, like Halo 3.
yeah. Yeah, I remember, man. I used to one thing that would piss me off though is people are too fucking good with those sticky
Oh
grenades, man.
yeah.
People jump over me and like hit me with the sticky grenade, and I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking Battlefield player. Don't be doing that shit. And
Yeah,
then,
I loved
yeah.
sticky grenades and then the other ones, Halo 3, I really liked the spike grenades. Because
Oh,
we'd always used to either try and stick the dude in the
yes.
face, and then you'd call him a dick nose, or you'd stick the dude in the dick so it
Uh,
looked like he had a giant boner before he blew up. Like those were the moments that were just they were
oh,
fun, funny. Like that's the kind of shit from gaming I miss, and I hope that I hope some of these games can get back to that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything nowadays it just seems like it's gotten too commercialized. You know, everything's a number. Everything's about the
Right.
bottom line, and we want some things just for pure enjoyment and just for fun. So